Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Stern, and today we're going to talk about biomolecules and polymers. This is an area of organic chemistry where it has a lot of applications to your life because the things we're going to talk about today relate to things like plastics and synthetic fabrics, like elastic fabrics or the kind of fabrics that make up like athletic clothes and things like that. This also relates to food and to your body because life on Earth is carbon based. So your body is made up mostly of carbon and organic molecules, and your food that you eat, which comes from living things, is also made of organic molecules. And so you should see lots of applications today of how organic chemistry applies to your life, and we'll be setting a foundation for some chemistry concepts that you'll need when you take biology. So I want to start by showing you this molecule. This long, big molecule here is called polyethylene terephthalate, which is a really long word and quite a mouthful, but is essentially the type of plastic that makes up water bottles, and like pop bottles and things like that. This molecule, sometimes the name is abbreviated PET or PETE. And this molecule looks kind of complicated, but actually, if you break it down, this molecule is really just a chain of repeating units. And this is a picture of that repeating unit. So this shows like a ball and stick diagram of that molecule, this more of like a line drawing. You can see some things that might look familiar to you, like the fact that oxygen likes to double bond with carbon, like the fact that carbon can form rings like this with double bonds. Organic chemistry so far, hopefully you've seen, is really all about patterns. Carbon likes to form chains with carbon and hydrogen. Those zigzaggy chains, they like to have single, double, or triple bonds. And so we have all these different names like alkane, alkene, alkyne, alcohol, amine, all the different functional groups you learned about. There's all these different names for things that are patterns that show up again and again in organic chemistry because of the way that carbon bonds in really specific ways with oxygen or hydrogen or nitrogen and things like that. So the new type of pattern we're learning about today is the idea of monomers and polymers. That's what we saw in this picture, that there can be smaller building blocks that join together in repeating long chains to make a big molecule like plastic. So a monomer is a small molecule that can then form into a long repeated chain, which we call a polymer. You can remember these words because mono means one and poly means many. So a monomer is one single building block, and a polymer is a long chain with many of those building blocks repeated after each other. So go ahead and write these definitions down, and as we move forward in the lesson, we'll see how this applies to biochemistry.